Think you truly know the biggest names in Hollywood? Look closer. Beyond the dazzling premieres and carefully curated red carpets are journeys far more complex than the spotlight reveals. Stories shaped not by scandal, but by resilience. Not by noise, but by quiet revolutions unfolding in plain sight. From trailblazing Emmy recipients to chart-dominating music innovators and even the childhood icons who once defined an era, many Black stars are redefining how identity, influence, and creative authority are understood in modern entertainment. They are not waiting for permission. They are expanding the narrative, challenging outdated frameworks, and reshaping the cultural blueprint from within. What makes this shift powerful is not spectacle, but substance. It's the steady rise of voices that refuse to be simplified. It's the transformation of representation from a checkbox into a catalyst. And as legacy institutions adapt to a rapidly evolving audience, one thing becomes clear. The industry can no longer overlook the force of authenticity. A new chapter is unfolding, not driven by controversy, but by conviction. Some choose to stand at the front of the stage and speak with unwavering clarity. Others reveal their truths more subtly, through art, choices, and the paths they dare to take. Yet every one of them has left a lasting imprint on culture, not through noise, but through courage and authenticity that reshaped the conversation. Are you ready to explore the untold journeys and pivotal decisions behind these 12 influential figures? The moments that didn't just define careers, but quietly shifted perspectives across an entire industry? If today's story sparked something within you, leave a 1 in the comments. If it challenged you to see things differently, leave a 0. Your voice matters, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can stay connected to more powerful stories that inform, inspire, and open new ways of seeing the world. Wanda Sykes, born in 1,964 inches, Portsmouth, Virginia, has forged a career as one of the most fearless comedic voices in American entertainment. Renowned for her razor-sharp timing, layered social insight, and unapologetic candor, Sykes approaches comedy as both craft and commentary. Her humor doesn't simply aim for laughter, it invites reflection, dismantles stereotypes, and reframes difficult conversations through wit. Her path to prominence was anything but conventional. Before stepping onto national stages, Sykes worked as a government contract specialist at the National Security Agency. Choosing to leave that stable career for the unpredictability of stand-up required bold conviction, a leap fueled by passion and persistence. She first gained major recognition as a writer for The Chris Rock Show, earning a Primetime Emmy Awards for her contributions. From there, she transitioned seamlessly into stand-up comedy, where her distinctive voice blending satire, cultural critique, and personal storytelling quickly set her apart. Sykes' journey reflects more than career evolution. It embodies reinvention powered by courage. Through humor that challenges as much as it entertains, she continues to prove that comedy can illuminate truth while still bringing the house down. If stories of bold reinvention and relentless drive inspire you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss more powerful journeys like this one. Wanda Sykes further cemented her legacy through stand-up specials such as Tongue Untied, I'm a Be Me, and Not Normal. Each performance sharpened her reputation as a comedian unafraid to navigate complex terrain. Rather than separating humor from social reality, Sykes fuses them, weaving commentary on race, gender dynamics, and sexuality into punchlines that provoke both laughter and reflection. Comedy, at its best, disarms audiences. It lowers defenses and opens space for reconsideration. Could humor be one of the most effective tools for shifting perspectives on social issues? Sykes' career suggests that when delivered with intelligence and authenticity, it absolutely can. Her personal life mirrors the boldness of her stage persona. In 2008, she married her wife, Alex Sykes, née Niedbalski, and together they are raising twin children. Parenthood frequently appears in her routines, where she shares candid, humorous insights into the realities of family life. Through these stories, she offers layered reflections on identity, culture, and what it means to navigate motherhood as a Black queer woman in America. Beyond stand-up, Sykes has built a distinguished career across television and film, proving that her comedic voice translates seamlessly into writing, acting, and producing. Whether on stage or screen, she continues to demonstrate that wit can illuminate truth and that laughter, when grounded in honesty, can be a powerful catalyst for dialogue. Wanda Sykes has showcased her versatility across acclaimed television series such as Curb Your Enthusiasm, The New Adventures of Old Christine, and Blackish. Whether appearing in live-action comedy or lending her unmistakable voice to animated films like Ice Age and Over the Hedge, she brings the same precision, timing, and authenticity that define her stand-up work. No matter the medium, Sykes infuses her roles with sharp observational humor and grounded realism. Her performances feel lived in rather than performed, a reflection of her ability to blend satire with sincerity. Beyond entertainment, Sykes is deeply engaged in advocacy. She has consistently spoken in support of LGBTQ+ rights, racial equity, and women's empowerment. As a board member of GLAAD, she has contributed to efforts that promote fair representation and understanding in media. Her involvement extends to fundraising initiatives and public dialogue aimed at expanding equality and awareness. For Sykes, comedy is more than a craft, it is a tool for illumination. Yet her broader mission lies in using her voice to foster progress. Through humor and activism combined, she demonstrates that laughter can open minds, and that influence carries the responsibility to uplift as well as entertain. By 2026, Wanda Sykes stands as a living legend in comedy, with more than 3 decades of unwavering dedication to her craft. Her legacy is not defined solely by accolades or milestones, but by the cultural pathways she helped open, pathways that encourage honesty, courage, and fearless self-expression. Her influence can be seen in a new generation of comedians who approach the stage with greater boldness, unafraid to explore identity, politics, and personal truth. Sykes has modeled what it means to claim one's voice without dilution. In doing so, she has shown emerging artists that authenticity is not a liability, it is an advantage. More than an entertainer, she has become a guiding presence for young creatives seeking to navigate public life without compromising who they are. Through satire sharpened by insight, she has demonstrated that humor can dismantle ignorance gently yet effectively. Laughter, in her hands, becomes illumination, a way to challenge assumptions while still inviting audiences into the conversation. Wanda Sykes' journey underscores a powerful truth. When comedy is driven by purpose, it can expand empathy and foster inclusion. Her career proves that wit paired with integrity has the power not only to entertain, but to reshape dialogue, cultivating a cultural space where differences are acknowledged, respected, and celebrated. Wanda Sykes' career stands as a compelling portrait of endurance fueled by conviction. Over the years, she has navigated obstacles with composure and clarity, remaining steadfast not only in her artistry but also in her advocacy for LGBTQ+ equality and broader human rights. Whether delivering punchlines on televised comedy series or commanding the stage in solo specials, Sykes masterfully balances levity with layered insight. Her humor often arrives wrapped in laughter, yet beneath it lies thoughtful commentary that encourages audiences to reconsider assumptions and confront uncomfortable truths. Every story she tells carries intention, blending entertainment with perspective. Beyond the spotlight, she continues to champion fairness and representation, using her platform to support initiatives that promote dignity and equal opportunity. In doing so, she exemplifies how influence can extend beyond applause. Wanda Sykes is more than a comedic voice. She is a pioneering figure whose work reflects both courage and compassion. Through resilience and purpose, she demonstrates that humor can illuminate injustice, and that determination, when paired with authenticity, can leave a lasting imprint on culture. Frank Ocean, born Christopher Edwin Breaux in 1,987 inches, Long Beach, California, is widely regarded as one of the most inventive and introspective voices in modern R&B. His artistry is defined by emotional subtlety, genre experimentation, and a lyrical honesty that resists easy categorization. Ocean first drew significant attention after collaborating with the hip-hop collective Odd Future, where his songwriting stood out for its poetic vulnerability and melodic depth. Yet it was his 2012 debut blending soul, funk, and electronic textures. The project delivered critically acclaimed tracks such as Thinkin' 'Bout You and Pyramids, earning him the Grammy Awards for Best Urban Contemporary Album. That same year, Ocean made headlines for a deeply personal revelation. In an open letter shared online, he reflected on his first love, a man marking one of the most widely discussed coming-out moments in modern music. The message was quiet in tone, yet profound in impact, challenging conventions within genres that had rarely embraced such openness. Through artistic innovation and personal transparency, Frank Ocean expanded the emotional vocabulary of R&B. His work continues to demonstrate that vulnerability, when expressed through art, can transform both sound and culture, leaving an imprint that resonates far beyond the charts. At a moment when parts of mainstream R&B and hip-hop were still navigating conversations around identity, Frank Ocean's openness felt transformative. His honesty did not eclipse his artistry, it deepened it. For many listeners, his words offered recognition and resonance, reflecting experiences that had rarely been articulated so plainly within the genre. In 2016, Ocean expanded his creative reach with the independently released album Blonde. Debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200, the project was celebrated for its minimalist production, unconventional song structures, and emotionally raw lyricism. Rather than adhering to formula, Blonde embraced atmosphere and introspection, allowing silence and subtlety to carry as much weight as melody. Tracks like Nikes and Self-Control explored longing, vulnerability, and fluid perspectives on identity through poetic, often gender-neutral language. The album's quiet intensity reinforced Ocean's reputation as a boundary-defying artist, one who prioritizes emotional truth over commercial expectation. Through innovation and introspection, Frank Ocean cemented his status as one of the most distinctive voices of his generation, demonstrating that authenticity and experimentation can coexist at the highest levels of cultural influence. Despite global acclaim, Frank Ocean has deliberately maintained distance from the machinery of celebrity culture. He rarely grants interviews, seldom appears at industry events, and avoids overexposure. Rather than chasing visibility, he protects his creative space. That restraint has only deepened his mystique, reinforcing the sense that his art speaks louder than any headline ever could. Ocean's choice to separate personal life from public spectacle reflects a broader philosophy. Influence does not require constant presence. By stepping back from the spotlight, he allows the work itself layered, intimate, and sonically adventurous to remain the focal point. Even with minimal public appearances, his cultural impact is undeniable. His emotionally nuanced songwriting and genre-fluid production have shaped the direction of contemporary R&B and alternative pop. Artists such as Lil Nas X and many others, exploring experimental, introspective sounds, often cite him as inspiration. Ocean redefined how vulnerability could be woven into melody, proving that quiet storytelling can carry seismic emotional weight. In an era driven by constant visibility, Frank Ocean's legacy offers a counter-narrative. Artistry rooted in authenticity can ripple outward without noise. His influence continues to echo through a generation of musicians who view honesty, innovation, and emotional depth not as risks, but as creative necessities. Beyond his musical catalog, Frank Ocean has steadily expanded into visual art and fashion, treating creativity as a multi-dimensional language rather than a single discipline. His artistic instincts extend beyond sound, embracing design, symbolism, and material form. In 2021, he introduced Homer, a luxury brand centered on fine jewelry and high-concept design. The collection merges vivid color palettes, sculptural forms, and futuristic aesthetics, reflecting Ocean's unconventional perspective on beauty and craftsmanship. Each piece is conceptual rather than purely decorative, blurring the line between accessory and art object. Homer's launch reinforced Ocean's broader philosophy. Art should not be confined to one medium. By moving fluidly between music, fashion, and visual storytelling, he continues to reshape expectations of what a modern creative visionary can be. The brand stands as another extension of his identity, thoughtful, experimental, and resistant to traditional molds, further solidifying his influence within both contemporary culture and high-end fashion. Frank Ocean's expansion into design and independent ventures reflects a rare balance. Creative freedom paired with meticulous control. Whether through music or fashion, he curates every detail, ensuring that his vision remains uncompromised. That autonomy has become central to his identity as an artist, one who moves deliberately rather than frequently. By 2026, Ocean remains both elusive and culturally pivotal. He releases music sparingly, yet each new track feels less like a single drop and more like a cultural moment, dissected by critics, celebrated by fans, and woven into broader conversations about sound and storytelling. Scarcity, in his case, amplifies significance. His journey underscores a powerful truth. Vulnerability is not fragility, it is depth. By expressing longing, introspection, and fluid identity with poetic precision, Ocean has helped reshape the emotional architecture of modern R&B. He does not simply produce songs, he reframes how stories can be told within them. In a landscape driven by constant output, Frank Ocean demonstrates that intention can outweigh volume. Through authenticity and innovation, he continues to influence not only music, but the cultural dialogue surrounding art, identity, and creative independence. Tessa Thompson, born in 1,983 inches, Los Angeles, California, has built a career defined by range, conviction, and thoughtful character choices. From emotionally layered performances in Creed to her enigmatic presence in Westworld and her dynamic role within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thompson has consistently demonstrated how talent paired with intention can influence mainstream storytelling. Her portrayal of Valkyrie in Thor, Ragnarok, and later in Thor, Love and Thunder represented a meaningful step forward in blockbuster cinema. Working closely with director Taika Waititi, Thompson advocated for a more authentic reflection of the character's identity. While subtle within the narrative, the acknowledgement of Valkyrie's bisexuality marked an important milestone for representation in large-scale superhero franchises. For many LGBTQ viewers who rarely see themselves reflected in epic, big-budget films, Valkyrie's presence carried symbolic weight. It suggested that heroism and diverse identity can coexist seamlessly on the world's biggest screens. Through deliberate choices and collaborative dialogue, Thompson helped expand the possibilities of who gets to wield power not just within a story, but within the cultural imagination itself. Tessa Thompson has spoken thoughtfully about identity in her personal life as well. In a 2018 interview with Porter magazine, she shared that she is attracted to both men and women, while also expressing that she prefers not to be confined to a single label. Instead, she advocates for a broader and more fluid understanding of identity, one that reflects the complexity of human experience. Her openness has resonated strongly with young audiences navigating their own paths of self-discovery. By speaking candidly yet carefully, Thompson models a form of visibility that feels intentional rather than performative. On screen, she continues to challenge expectations through layered roles. In 2021, she starred in Passing, portraying a black woman in 1920s Harlem, grappling with racial boundaries and concealed identity. The film earned critical praise, with Thompson's nuanced performance highlighting both restraint and emotional depth. By consistently choosing characters that explore identity, power, and perception, Thompson has built a body of work defined by substance rather than repetition. Her career reflects a deliberate commitment to complexity, proving that meaningful storytelling thrives when actors seek depth over predictability. Is Hollywood truly ready to embrace performers and characters who move beyond traditional molds? The industry has shown signs of progress, yet the conversation continues. When artists challenge expectation, they expand possibility not just for themselves, but for audiences who long to see more nuanced reflections of humanity on screen. Tessa Thompson has consistently used her visibility to advocate for structural change. As a founding member of the Time's Up movement, she has supported initiatives aimed at promoting gender equity within the entertainment industry. She also speaks openly about racial justice and LGBTQ+ rights, emphasizing the importance of storytelling that honors complexity rather than conformity. Her perspective is clear. Stories should mirror the layered reality of human experience, not reduce it to simplified categories. That philosophy extends beyond interviews and into her public image. On red carpets, Thompson often chooses gender-neutral or tailored silhouettes that subtly question rigid fashion binaries. Each appearance becomes a visual statement reinforcing the idea that beauty and strength are not confined to predefined boxes. Through both artistry and advocacy, Thompson demonstrates that representation is not solely about visibility. It is about depth, intention, and the courage to reimagine what inclusion can look like in every creative space. Tessa Thompson's appearances, frequently highlighted in publications such as Vogue and Elle, reveal her sharp awareness of how image functions as language. She understands that presence alone can communicate conviction, and that style, when chosen intentionally, can speak as clearly as scripted dialogue. Through carefully selected roles and thoughtful interviews, Thompson consistently advances conversations about diversity, nuance, and mutual respect. She approaches fame not as spectacle, but as responsibility, recognizing that visibility carries influence. Each character she portrays and each public appearance becomes part of a larger narrative about complexity and inclusion. By 2026, Thompson remains a cultural touchstone, encouraging Hollywood to move beyond passive acceptance toward meaningful representation. Her career reflects a deliberate shift away from narrow archetypes and toward multidimensional storytelling. Tessa Thompson's journey extends beyond the definition of a film star. She represents a generation of artists who see creativity as a vehicle for broader change, proving that when authenticity guides ambition, influence naturally follows. Tessa Thompson has moved beyond the traditional confines of entertainment, shaping narratives that resonate far beyond the screen. Her work reflects an intentional effort to rewrite perspectives, offering younger generations images of strength, complexity, and authenticity that feel both modern and meaningful. Each time she steps into a role, Thompson delivers more than technical precision. She brings conviction. Her performances often illuminate themes of equality, layered identity, and human dignity, encouraging audiences to look beyond surface assumptions. By choosing stories that challenge convention, she ensures that her artistry carries cultural depth. Her presence consistently introduces fresh viewpoints, inviting dialogue around inclusion and representation without reducing characters to symbols. Through subtle nuance and deliberate choices, she helps place conversations about diversity and human rights at the center of mainstream storytelling. Tessa Thompson stands not only as a luminous figure in Hollywood, but as a catalyst for a broader evolution in film and society, one where individuals are recognized not by labels, but by the fullness of who they are. Jada Pinkett Smith, born in 1,971 inches, Baltimore, Maryland, has crafted a career defined by fearlessness on screen and beyond it. From the gripping intensity of Set It Off to her commanding presence in The Matrix Reloaded and Collateral, she has consistently delivered performances layered with emotional precision and strength. Pinkett Smith's artistic identity has never been confined to predictable roles. Throughout her career, she has gravitated toward characters that embody resilience, independence, and complexity. These choices reflect a broader philosophy. Storytelling should challenge, not merely entertain. Yet her influence extends far beyond film sets. Over time, she has emerged as a candid cultural voice, engaging in open conversations about identity, relationships, and personal growth. Through public dialogue and media projects, she has explored themes often considered private, encouraging transparency over pretense. By embracing vulnerability and nuance, Jada Pinkett Smith has positioned herself not just as a respected actress, but as a figure willing to question inherited narratives. Her journey illustrates that true boldness lies not only in performance, but in the courage to examine and redefine one's own story in full view of the world. Jada Pinkett Smith has consistently used personal storytelling as a catalyst for broader dialogue. By speaking openly about her life experiences, she has encouraged audiences to question inherited assumptions and consider more fluid, human-centered perspectives on identity and growth. Her talk show, Red Table Talk, launched in 2018, became a platform for candid, multi-generational conversations. Around the table, discussions often move beyond celebrity headlines into themes of vulnerability, healing, and self-discovery. Rather than presenting polished narratives, the show embraced complexity and nuance. One particularly discussed moment involved Pinkett Smith, reflecting on her youthful experiences and acknowledging that attraction and identity can evolve over time. While she identifies as heterosexual, her willingness to speak transparently about past same-sex experiences challenged rigid binaries that often shape public discourse. Through openness rather than sensationalism, she reframed the conversation, suggesting that authenticity is not about fitting into fixed categories, but about understanding oneself honestly. In doing so, Jada Pinkett Smith demonstrated how public platforms can be used not only for visibility, but for thoughtful cultural reflection. Jada Pinkett Smith's marriage to Will Smith has long drawn public attention, often accompanied by speculation about the nature of their partnership. Rather than retreating from scrutiny, Pinkett Smith chose a different path, addressing complex topics directly through open dialogue. On platforms such as Red Table Talk, she engaged in candid conversations about intimacy, personal evolution, and the realities of long-term commitment. By speaking transparently, she reframed public curiosity into an opportunity for broader reflection on relationships and growth. Instead of presenting a flawless image, she emphasized that meaningful partnerships often require continuous communication and self-examination. Her openness has drawn both praise and criticism, illustrating how vulnerability in the public eye can spark diverse reactions. Yet Pinkett Smith has consistently maintained that honesty, even when uncomfortable, is foundational to personal development. Through these discussions, she has encouraged audiences to consider that relationships are dynamic journeys, shaped not by perfection, but by resilience and accountability. In navigating both admiration and critique, she continues to demonstrate that authenticity, while sometimes turbulent, can foster deeper understanding within oneself and within the wider cultural conversation. Jada Pinkett Smith has consistently framed personal growth as an ongoing process rather than a polished destination. By acknowledging imperfections and openly discussing the challenges within her marriage and public life, she has modeled a form of strength rooted in honesty. Her message is clear: authenticity requires courage, and growth often begins where comfort ends. Beyond relationships, Pinkett Smith has used her voice to highlight mental health awareness and self-perception. She has spoken candidly about her experiences with depression, emphasizing that vulnerability should not be mistaken for fragility. Instead, she presents openness as a gateway to healing, a step toward breaking cycles of silence that can surround emotional well-being. Through platforms like Red Table Talk, she has helped normalize conversations that have historically carried stigma, particularly within communities where discussing mental health has not always been encouraged. By placing these topics in the public sphere with empathy and nuance, she has contributed to a broader cultural shift toward acceptance and understanding. Jada Pinkett Smith's influence extends beyond film and television. She represents a philosophy of self-confrontation and self-compassion, reminding audiences that maturity and fulfillment emerge not from perfection, but from the willingness to face life's complexities with transparency and resilience. Beyond film and television, Jada Pinkett Smith stepped into an entirely different arena in the early 2000s as the lead vocalist of the nu metal band Wicked Wisdom. The project surprised many observers and received varied critical reactions, yet it underscored something essential about her artistic identity. She refuses confinement. By entering a genre often unexpected for her, she demonstrated that creative exploration matters more than external approval. The band's existence itself sent a message that reinvention is not recklessness, but courage. Pinkett Smith showed that artistry can be fluid, evolving across mediums without apology. By 2026, She represents a woman unafraid to transform in public view. Whether speaking about identity, mental health, family dynamics, or personal evolution, she consistently challenges the illusion of perfection that often surrounds celebrity culture. Rather than polishing her narrative to fit expectations, she embraces complexity. Her legacy is not rooted in fitting established molds, but in questioning them. Through music, dialogue, and lived transparency, she reinforces a powerful idea. Truth, even when layered and uncomfortable, is a form of liberation.